Hi there ladies, I'm finally going to upload this flower for you today that I created. Yesterday while I was waiting for my YouTube video to upload on the chat and the bags, I just put a few more things on another flower. This isn't the one we're doing today, but it will be very similar. This is one I've made quite a few of these actually, so I've decided that I'm going to be making quite a few of these fairy flowers because they are very pretty. Now this is the bag that I showed you in my last tutorial, and I have some gorgeous little twists that I added to the bag which you haven't seen, which has really made the bag pop, and they are from Krista from Second Chance Creations, and she really does some incredibly unusual and beautiful work, and she gifted me those. So there goes the flower flying out of the bag. So I just put them on there, and I think it's made such a difference to that bag. Okay, we're going to get on with our tutorial now, which I'm quite excited about after yesterday's problems with uploading. Okay, that's just a real cute little bowl, and it's made out of melamine, and it's quite safe with fire in it. So there we go. Just lit that, quite a large tea light. There are no age restrictions on my YouTube channel, so if there are any kids watching, don't do this, because you will definitely, unless you're supervised, depending on how old you are, you will definitely, this is not a good idea if you're a child and you're watching this, so don't do it, okay? Do it with mum, don't do it by yourself. Okay, I've got some lovely chiffon material here that I got from a dress that I'd won on eBay quite a while back, and I've just roughly cut it into, as you can see, very roughly, cut into round circles. I never measure anything. I eyeball everything, which is just the way I work, and I don't actually burn individual pieces of fabric. What I do is I'll show you in a minute what I do, but I like to get things done fairly quickly, so I've put those all together. And I'm just going to make a little type of cabbage flower in my hand and hold it over, but nowhere near the flame. So it kind of burns them. It doesn't burn them, but it makes them all curl together. Best thing to do when you're actually using a lot of fabric together like that is to find a nice warm spot on, and also having the flame in a bowl does keep a lot of the heat in. So that's why I've chosen the melamine bowl, because it slightly heats up to this bowl and not being the usual ceramic bowl, and it gives a beautiful curling effect to these flowers, as you'll see. So I'm just going to do a little bit more there to give it a lovely curled effect. You don't really have to do this if you don't want to. You could just leave it uncurled, but I really love the curled effect that it gives. This particular flower, which you have seen before if you've watched my other videos, has been curled. I've even been known to curl them when they're completed, which probably a few of you out there do that as well. So now we have our curled petals, and they are, just how I want them. We're going to make our beautiful little fairy flower. I've got this, again, roughly cut out pieces of pink burlap. I didn't dye that, it came as it is. And what we're aiming for really is, we're aiming for, as a fairy look. So, you don't have to use pinks. You don't even have to use the pink burlap, but I wanted to. So I'm just going to make a little bit of a sandwich out of that. You squish the warm glue, which feels lovely, into there, and you just leave it for just a second just to dry. I do use very, very hot glue. Okay, we have our lovely curled petals, from the heat. Goodness me, come those seagulls again, sorry. So what I've done is I've made sure the glue is dry and all our lovely petals are curled from the heat, because that's a good base to start. I mean, that is our starting base, and we're going to be working from there. So once your petals are curled like that, it's almost like a large cabbage flower at the moment, which is kind of what I'm going for, and it just sort of went like that, so that's really good. I'm going to choose a couple of pieces of this lovely pink, which is of course way too bright to be the main part of the flower, so it's going to go underneath. And again, it's a breathable natural fibre, of course with a dye in it, so it's not totally natural, but it will give us a really good base for this really stunning little flower. So I've just curled that around again, and it's, as you can see, all our petals are looking amazing. So we're just going to put some of that glue on there, quite a big globule of glue on there, because what we want to do is we want to stick it onto the burlap and make sure that it certainly is going to stay, because we're working with layers, so we want to make sure that that's going to stick on there nicely, and it feels lovely, especially when you know, I'm going to be doing a lot of that squeezing, because it kind of works the glue through the porous fabrics. So that's what I'm doing there, just making sure that everything sticks. I don't like things if they fall apart, and they don't with my projects, I must admit, apart from tassels. Anyway, here I am pulling out a few little strings from the burlap. We all know it's it's a lovely fabric to work with, and you can do loads of stuff with it. So I've just pulled a few strings out, because we are going for the fairy look and we are having fun. So it's all about having fun with this flower, being fairy themed. Now, I did get a really lightweight, very, very cheap, it's a scarf. So basically, it's a rayon, very light scarf. I think it cost me hardly anything. I think it cost me 20 pence or something. And I bought it because I just loved the colour. So I'm going to use that as another centre for our flower, because we need to sort of start thinking about bulk now in the flower. But we are working here with fairies, and so we need to make sure that the fabrics that we are using are light. That's really super important. We're not making a big heavy shabby chic cloth flower here, particularly we're going for the lightness of the flower. And if you use the light fabrics, it's going to give you that lovely fairy light look, which is what we're going for. So let's get on with this and place it where it should be. Super easy to work with, very forgiving fabric. It's easy to manipulate in the flower, and it's incredibly lightweight, and it's going to accept the glue really well. So anything rayon or very lightweight is perfect for this flower. So I'm just clipping off the edges there. I kind of use my hand as a guide, as to like as a measuring stick almost. When I put the fabric inside my hand, sometimes I will just chop off the top bit, around the top of my hand. Watch this curl when I put the glue on. This is how hot this glue is. Look, watch this. Watch the glue. When I put the glue on, and there is a fair bit on there, look at it curl because of the heat from the glue. So you can see what type of fabrics we're working with. They're, they love the flame. These are perfect for what I'm doing. I've just made a little flower taco, and or a sandwich. Just roll it round, feeling that lovely warm glue. It's very hot, of course, but it's lovely and warm on the outside of this flower. And because I'm kind of measuring everything with my hand, now it's sort of all the same kind of lengths, except for the middle part, of course, where we curled. So a bit more glue as we go. Just mind your fingers, it's awfully hot. So there's lots of glue on there now, and it's really shaping into a cabbage type flower. And now we're going to add our lovely sparkly bits and pieces onto it and give it a little bit of bulk as well. So please join me for part 2 for our fairy flower tutorial.